Hello everybody, this is Pete from Paw Labs, and I'm picking up with video 7 on our Beginner's Corner videos. These seem to be quite popular with everyone. And so what I want to look today is I've actually written an outline for this video. That's the most I've ever written for a video yet. So now we can just see if I can stick to it. So our goal today on this video is to go through debugging. And to do that, we're going to create a simple form. We're going to create the project code. Well, I've already got the project created. We just got to create the script that we're going to debug that's going to run that form. And then we're going to run and debug the code. If we get time, we're going to add in templates and issues. And this is part of this left-hand side of the screen over here, okay? And right off the bat, I can hit issues and let's see, here's issues. Here's our segment on issues. And if I come over here and so let's come in here and start with comment and say debug, that, or no. It's to do. And then we can say start coding. Okay, now two things just happened. First, it gave us a better color on the background here. And so it kind of stands out and kind of slaps your attention. And second, he put it over here as this is a clickable link, so you can jump straight to the code by clicking that. Now, you also have a fix me, and fix me works the same. Okay, now, interesting. Let's see what we get. What I want to do is, he got the highlighting, and that was the original highlighting, but I want to show you how you have to change that because that's pretty god-awful. So we're going to jump out here to preferences, and we're going to go to issues. Even though that's colorization, it's still an issue, and so it wants fix me, F-I-X-M-E. Okay, and it looks to me that it just needs to be a single word. So okay, now we're going to come down here and say let's darken that shade up. Maybe, yeah, that ought to probably fine. Now, if you notice, none of this has changed. It has not identified that you have changed an existing one. So I've selected him. He's here. What I want to do is say update. Now I've updated this record. Now he sees it as something to do. Now, I want to point out that you can say show an issues tool or don't show an issues tool. We could show me, oh, I never knew that that option was there. Let's go ahead and do that as well. And again, I'm going to update and then I'm going to apply. Okay, now when we apply, it takes a half an hour. And then it goes ahead and closes the form if I'm not mistaken. Okay, so I'm mistaken. He's updated. So, and now let's see where he has gone. We're in the procedures and look, we have fix me. Works the same. Okay, so he is now in here. And if I go to issues, I have my issue there. And I can jump to the code by double clicking. If you notice, my cursor went there. And if I come here and I double click him and hit him, my code jumps there. So I want to point those out. Those are reminders for you to remember to do something in your code. You kind of a little to-do list as you're going through. Your mind is focused on a single block of code. and you all of a sudden you have this epiphany of something else being wrong, throw in a to do, throw in a fix me, and you can then um, identify it later and come back and fix it. Now, if you have some other command you prefer to use, maybe you want to put it in French or in Russian or in German or in any other language or what have you. What I would say to do is come over here and create. You have the ability to create any number of these things. It's just a great big list that it keeps track of for you. So you can generate all kinds of different issues to remember. You got a whole bunch of them. You can create new and follow this expression because what he's doing is using regular expressions. And I don't want to get into the battle of regular expressions. That's a monstrous topic unto itself, and it doesn't think like everything else thinks. We'll get to it probably eventually. So, anyhow, there's issues. Wow, I knocked off number 3 real quick, didn't I? Okay, so what we can do now is let's go create a, let's see, Ice Designer 64. Okay. Let's go ahead and launch him. I think I double clicked him. Come on, keep up with me. Okay, so ding 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 ding. Um hey. Okay, so let's create a simple form. All right, now I almost always start with the button gadgets. So we'll drop our button gadget down here, and he's cancel. Okay. Now, again, I'm going to harp on this because come up with your own code standards. Okay. This is one of mine, naming things. If I'm going to use something in code where I'm going to reference it, by God, it's going to have a name. So FRM main, and as you know, that's just an old habit of mine. Um, let's say main screen. Also, main screen is a little bit different than everything else. uh, Oftentimes you could have upwards of 200 forms in a project. I think the biggest I've hit is like 180 or something like that in pure basic. In other languages, I've hit a lot more. But um, so you need a name for everything that makes logical sense. So when you're looking at the code, you see somebody's name and you know what that name means. All right. So don't be chintzy and say, I'm calling this form X because it's my form X, and I'm going to call the next one Y. In 6 months, when you come back to your program, you'll look at that and go, what on earth was I thinking about? What is Form X? I got to go find the configuration screen. Why did I call it X? Okay. And main is another one of those. Always name your first program screen, the first screen, the launching screen of your program, always name it main. That way you can open this project up anytime in the next 100 years and scroll down and say, we start with main. Duh. Yep, that's our first screen. Don't call something before main. Always call your first screen main. That way you know where you start. And trust me, at this point, probably in your life, you can remember, you know, what you called a screen, 10 years ago and not even blink. But you know what? That'll change. And what makes it worse, especially, is if you're backing into somebody else's code and you're like, man, what kind of drugs were they on naming these screens like this? Oh my goodness. So always the base rule of most programming languages and most programming is that a program is developed in a matter of usually months, weeks and months, and it then stays in maintenance for, oh my goodness, somewhere on the order of 10 years. I've actually opened up PL1 code that was in execution for almost 25 years before. So it stays in maintenance for way longer than you'll ever spend developing the dang thing. And so that's where standards come in so importantly. So it might not be you that has to pick this program up. It could be somebody else, or you may actually use it for 2 or 3 decades and then all of a sudden want to change something. And if you open it up and you didn't have any standards, well, it's like you're going to open it up and spend all your time reading the code trying to figure out how on earth you went about doing something. And that is just not smart. It's just a waste of time. So come up with a naming standard. Whatever naming standard you want to come up with is fine by me, but come up with it and then stick to it. Okay. And so here's our form, a real dead simple form. We got one field. Enter my field and hit save. Okay. So we're going to save our form and we're going to kick it out. And yes, we have to say, I'm going to drop it into I started a new project and it's called debug. Okay, so we're going to throw this into debug as FRM main. Okay. Oh, this is the save of you. Hold on. This is saving the ICEF, and I don't prefix those. Hold on. So main, so you can do that. And then we will say export the code. And exporting the code, these in forms will back up and say FRM main. Okay, so let's see. We'll save you there. So now we have our form. And let's see. You should have opened. Yes, you did. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm not going to do this rocket science way. I'm just going to copy this. We're not going to use his code. We're going to just paste his code into here. And then we will come up here and say, okay, edit, format indentation, and there's our indentation looking beautiful. Now, we have this on procedures, and pay attention. He's telling us what all our procedures are, and these are clickable. We can jump all over this application with these things. He's picking up this semicolon dash as a procedure. That's pretty cool. So you can jump around that way too. Okay. So I am going to delete. Well, it doesn't matter. Let's go ahead and say, all right, I'm going to put a stop point right here. And we're going to come over here to debugger and we're going to put in what's called a breakpoint. Now, breakpoints are this washed out green bar. And so what we can do is freeze the code, the executing code. Let's see, debugger, add a breakpoint there, or you can hit like F9, I believe it is. So now, if you are debugging your code, remember the green cockroach bug here, then when you hit play, I did the unpardonable sin of not setting up my project all the way, didn't I? Okay, so first we have to come over here and select our running program. So it's kind of a hindsight. Well, what did I do? I selected the wrong file. Yes, I know, I selected the wrong file. I want debug to run. Okay, so, and we can optimize code, not that at this point any of that matters. So now when we run our project, he knows who to run, and he's going to come in here and wha-bam. Let's see what happened. So he has stopped the execution right here for us. And so let's see if we come down here, let's put a stop on this line. And we can say, I'm going to hit F9. That puts it in. And then I'm going to stop the execution from running. And now let's run it again. Because what I want to do is come in, and he's going to stop right here, which is the call to this procedure there. And so we can stop him and then step forward. Okay, now we're stopped. Awesome. Now we have these buttons right here, these 4 buttons right here. And if you don't have those buttons there, they're in here. So we can say continue executing the code. We can say step, in other words, take a step. You can step over, okay? Step over means, hey, this is a call to this procedure. I want you to step over that call and pick up running right here. Okay, so if I put another stop there, and this is an active window, so I can add stops all I want. So if this is the step over, okay, well, I thought he would have jumped that. I guess he doesn't because he still has to run it. So I guess he step over, should have jumped it. I'm not sure. Okay, so anyhow, we'll walk. Okay, so we're walking the line, the next line that runs. Okay, come on. There we go. Now we're resizing him. See how I'm just walking the thread of execution itself. And so we can then hit play, and then it just runs to the next stop point, which is at our repeat, and it's going to hit that a billion times, so I'm going to turn it off. Now, what I did was, if you hit F9, I'm going to come here and say, okay, I hit F9, we get him, I hit F9 again, he's gone. It acts as a toggle switch, turning it on and off. So I turned this off, even though you can't really see it, except you're missing this little blue dot and highlighting out here in the tree. So if I hit play now, he should go ahead forward and execute. I don't think I have another stop in there. Yeah, he should have gone ahead and exported. There he is. Okay, so we just had to make him an active window. He was behind. So we can now, let's see, my next breakpoint that I've put in here is to come down here in the save step, so we can hit cancel with no problem. If I hit save, we now know that the code is right there. He is executing that line of code right there. So then we can say, oh, okay, whoops, I have to continue this running. So we'll hit play. Now I got to make my screen active again. And now I got my pop-up saying that you've clicked save. So, excuse me, that is how you debug code and walk the execution of code to see what's wrong. Now, another trick that you have up your sleeve, let's go ahead and clear all our breakpoints. If I do this and say clear all breakpoints, that takes the current file and it'll clear all the breakpoints out of your current file. Okay, there's no way to say for the whole project, get rid of all my breakpoints. Too bad. You got to deal with those. Now, what you can do is come in here and say, okay, let us debug. And this will create a debug window for us and start listing values. And let's say we want to say George. Okay, you might want to say here. Whoops, sorry. You might want to say the code made it to here, the code made it to there, whatever it is you want to say. And then when you run your code, that'll happen as long as you're in debug mode, you'll get this. in the executable, so we've gotten to George. See that? Now, the we have a bunch of Saharan dust coming down on top of us over here in Houston, Katie. So that's why I have to constantly clear my throat. I do apologize for that. Um, so um, the code, every time the code passes that, it'll write George out. If I stick it inside this repeat loop, okay, watch this. Debug George. Okay, watch that screen fill up. Okay, there he goes. He's going to run. And now he's going to scroll 18 million Georges. Watch this bar keep shrinking as it keeps looping and getting smaller and smaller, with more and more thousands of those being written. Okay, so be careful where you put debug. The other comment I want to make on debug is you can leave them in your program, and only if the code is executed from source, and only if you have the debug window button pushed up here will you ever see debugs. Okay? If you're running this from an executable, compile this into an executable and run the executable, you will never, never see your debugs. Doesn't exist in that world. Okay? So, that is debugging code and being able to put values and be able to make notes of things while we're doing this. And so that's a goodie to know, because you'll be using that a lot. Now, the next thing I want to do is you'll find as you write code, and this is going to be item number 2. I'm back at trying to do these in order, is that you can save code. Let's come over here, create a code sheet. So when you find yourself writing something more times than you care to write, that is where templates come in. Okay? Templates saves you time. This guy here, I want to put, let's come over here and say, okay, I'm going to put my cursor right here, and I'm going to say window event, right? You may be asking yourself, what in the heck is window event? Well, a window event is that one little command. Now, you've seen programs where the code is running in a loop, and it may be running in a loop for 100,000 times, and all of a sudden the screen freezes on you. And if you try to touch the screen or move the screen, it goes gray, like it's not acknowledging you. The code, the thread of execution is deep inside your code, and the screen isn't being updated. Well, how do you fix that? You use one of these sentences in your loop, and then every time that sentence gets hit, it'll go, "Hey, Windows, do you need to do something? Go do it." And then it continues back to what he's doing. So when you touch a screen and it fades out to that weirdo, oh my God, I'm on a crash kind of look, this is your fix. Well, I have that over here in templates because I use it a lot. And to be honest with you, I can't remember the darn thing. Okay, so it's over here in window event. We're going to let Windows do its events so Windows can be updated. Okay, here's another real good one. Post event. Okay, so I'm going to come down here, and you may figure out what I'm doing, but I'm building a code sheet of mine. So if you want to go create them, I'm going to put this with this project when I put it out on the web, and you can download it and add some of these in. So post event, in your code, if you have a screen, let's come back here at our screen, and I want to, let's see, we come into our code, we open up our window, right? So at this point, I want to say, let's say I want to fill in the text box, right? So I can say set gadget text, right? And our, what is our text gadget? Oh God, I didn't name him. Somebody beat me. That's terrible. This is horrible. Okay, and let's say Pete. There we go. Name is Pete. Now, if I wanted to push, let's say, the save button, why, I would do a post event. Watch. We're going to do a post event. What's our window? Well, it's main. I can just put that in. And then it wants the gadget. Whoops, I didn't close my parent, did I? Okay, so then it wants the gadget name. And then it wants, what event do you want to do? So I'm going to change this to say, left click him. Okay. So what I just did in code was say, you know what? Go click this save button. Now when we run the code, watch what happens. This is going to run. It's going to put Pete in there. And why didn't you click the save button? Okay, I see what I did wrong. I left clicked the string field. Dummy me. Oops. So this should have been btn, and we will say save. There we go. And now when we come in here and run this, it's going to enter the string Pete in the name field, and then it's going to click the button for us. See that? Isn't that cool? So post event is how from code you can interact with the screen and have the screen do things. That way, this is really important because when you're loading up your screen here in this block of code here before you show your screen, nothing you do here will ever trigger an event to fire unless you do a post event. Okay. So you don't want to write code. Let's say you have a list box that's tied to another list box where the selection on one list box, that value that is selected is used to populate the second list box. So you don't want to write that code up here in the load screen and write the code down here where you've got the select list box stuff. You want to write it down here once and say, okay, make my selection on the first list box and now call the event that I've changed it. Okay. So you can say list event, this list box has changed. All right. And that'll trigger the event down below. Now, few caveats. What I have learned is that these post events fire last. So as you go down this screen, if I got a save gadget text, set gadget text, set gadget text, a bunch of other stuff that's just doing it, it's going to complete all of those, and then it's going to fire the post event. He's last in the queue. Now, last in the queue, but if I had two of them, the first one would be first, the second one would be second, which makes sense. So that is how you use these values. Now, what I'm going to do off camera is come down here and I will come in here and say, what is event loop? Oh, I don't want to put that one in here. That one's huge. Let's see. Let's go see what you are. Oh, yes, our classic when you hit a button on the screen. So this is select. So what I'm going to do off camera is go through all of these and load this one class sheet up with all of this code. And so that'll be part of this saved project in the project here. And when I get this code out on the web and announce that, hey, it's out on the web for you to download, you can go out to the beginner's corner on the website at Codes and download the project. And you can choose to use these or not use these. It's whatever you want to do. Some of this cheating code is pretty killer. Message request, if you can't remember a message request, here's a message request. And there's two forms of message requests. There's one like this, that actually will never work. Okay, in order to get a reply, you must have PB message yes, no, or yes, no, cancel. Okay. So then down here, you can say if result equals pound PB message, and you can say yes if it's message yes, if it's message no, if it's message cancel, and execute three different things based on what the reply was. Okay, you will only get a result if if you have message requester yes no or yes no cancel. Okay, I think you only, if you don't, then all you get is the OK button, which doesn't really tell you anything. So that's pretty much the end of this video. I will pick up somewhere along the way and on the next one, and we'll just keep going, okay? Always, thanks for watching.